In the quiet village, surrounded by dense forests and winding rivers, everyone knew of Ize, a young orphan who had arrived under mysterious circumstances. One night, during a terrible storm, the villagers discovered a baby lying in a basket at the foot of the village tree, with nothing but a simple cloth wrapped around her and a small note that read, "Her name is Ize, take care of her." Taken in by the village healer, Mama Adeku, Ize grew up with a deep love for her community. But she always felt an emptiness. She wondered why her parents had abandoned her and why she had been left with few clues about her past. Her questions were met with silence or sympathetic looks from the villagers, who had no answers. As Ize grew up, she noticed strange things happening around her. Sick animals seemed to grow calm in her presence, and plants that were wilting bloomed once she touched them. Mama Adeku, though concerned, encouraged Ize to be humble, reminding her that these gifts were not hers alone, but were meant to help others. Ize took her words to heart and became known as a gentle soul with a healing touch. But in a village plagued by famine and illness, Ize's talents were not enough. Crops had stopped growing, children fell ill, and the river that once provided fresh water was now dangerously low. The villagers grew anxious, desperate for a way out, and began to blame Ize. Seeing her mysterious origin and strange abilities as the reason for their misfortunes. One night, as tension reached a boiling point, the village elders called a meeting. They accused Ize of being a bad omen and demanded that she leave the village. Hot but determined, Ize begged them to give her one last chance to prove herself. She proposed to find a cure for the village ills. Reluctantly, they agreed, but warned her she had only until the next full moon. Ize had little idea where to start, but she remembered an old story Mama Adeku had told her about the tree of life, a magical tree hidden deep in the forest that could heal even the most desperate of hearts and revive dying lands. She decided to find it, hoping it would bring the village the salvation they so desperately needed. With only a few small sacks of food and blankets and Mama Adeku's blessing, Ize set out early the next morning. She walked for days through dense forests, facing wild animals, steep hills, and relentless rain. Ize was about to give up when she encountered an elderly man sitting on a rock by the path. "Are you lost, child?" he asked kindly. Seeing the exhaustion in her eyes, she explained her mission, and he smiled sadly, telling her, "The tree of life is hidden beyond 7 rivers and 7 mountains. Many have tried to find it, but few have returned." Undeterred, Ize pushed forward, driven by the hope that she could save her people. Her journey was perilous. She faced poisonous snakes, treacherous cliffs, and nights so cold that her entire body ached. Each step was a test of her strength, courage, and faith. After weeks of travel, Ize finally found herself standing before a massive tree with leaves that shimmered like gold. Exhausted but determined, Ize reached out to touch it, only to hear a voice, strong yet gentle, echo through the air. "To heal your village, you must make a sacrifice," the tree said. "Once I grant you my power, you must give up the chance to know who you truly are, the answers to your past, and the identity of those who left you." Ize's heart ached. She had spent her years wondering about her origin, yearning for answers, but seeing the desperation of her village in her mind's eyes, she chose them over herself. She whispered, "I will give up my past if it means giving my village a future." With newfound strength, Ize returned to the village. As she stepped back onto the dusty road, the ground trembled and the clouds of rain gathered. The villagers watched in astonishment as the sky opened up and poured rain upon the dry earth. Rivers overflowed with clear water. Fields turned green overnight, and those who had been sick began to recover. Word spread that Ize had returned, not as an orphan, but as a savior. The villagers rejoiced, celebrating Ize's bravery and determination. Some came to her with gratitude, while others who had once blamed her for the village's misfortunes felt ashamed of their actions. Through it all, Ize remained humble, attributing her journey's success to the guidance of Mama Adeku and the strength of her people. Years later, as Ize grew into a young woman, respected by all, Mama Adeku fell ill. On her sick bed, she beckoned Ize close, revealing a secret to her. "Your parents did not abandon you, Ize," she whispered. "They sacrificed themselves to the tree of life to save the village many years ago. They left you as a gift to this village and a symbol of their love and sacrifice." Ize wept, but found peace in knowing that her parents loved her, that she had been a part of their final hope. She realized that by giving up her own past, she had come full circle, preserving the legacy of her family's sacrifice and bringing new life to the village. Ize continued to live in the village, teaching others the value of hope, resilience, and sacrifice. Her story became a legend, one that reminded the village that sometimes the greatest power of all lies not in where we come from, but in the choices we make to help others.